So this is Stella. She's a very confident, dominant mare, and within her herd with other horses, she's always the lead mare. She has a very dominant personality, and because she has a dominant personality, she can easily become dominant towards humans. She can become pushy and crowd your space, step on your feet, end up taking over. Now, she's not pushy and dominate with me because I maintain her respect, but I'm going to show you an exercise, and this is one of my favorite exercises, especially to do in the winter time when there's a lot of downtime. They're not getting worked that much, and they're not getting ridden, but you still need to maintain their respect. So this exercise is a leading exercise, and it works really well for pushy dominant horses because it establishes leadership right away. So I'm going to show you this exercise. Now, in this exercise, I do not recommend doing this with a kicky horse because you are going to be shoulder to shoulder, okay? So this is the position that I want, and you can see, I'm about a foot or so away, and that's the distance I wanted her to stay. And when I do this leading exercise, because I'm on the left side, I'm only going to do right turns, and that's very important. Those When I'm on the left side and I'm doing those right turns, I'm having her yield away from me. I'm having her yield her front end away from me, which is very important with pushy dominant horses because they want to push you with their front end. So you're having them yield their front end away from you. So when I'm on my left side, I only do right turns. When I do the right, I only do left turns. Okay? So let me back her up a little bit. Now, I do like to, in the beginning, I don't necessarily have to do this with Stella, but I do recommend in the beginning to have like a long whip. That way you keep on your outside hand. And when you start doing this exercise, if the horse starts to lag, you can put your whip back there, encourage them to get up back into position. Or if they start to get in front of you and crowd you, block you, you can discourage that and get them back, back into position. Also, you can use the end of the whip, which is a rubber end. When you start making those turns, you can encourage the horse to yield away from you by tapping their neck or tapping their shoulder to get them to move away from you. Okay, but eventually you shouldn't have to use it at all. So with her, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna put her in position. I don't have a cameraman to follow me around, so it's a little bit difficult. So let me get her backing up here. Okay, I'm gonna get in position. I'm shoulder to shoulder. Okay. If your horse starts to anticipate, just pet him for a minute. Good. So I'm gonna ask her to walk on. I'm gonna cluck. I want her to go first. There she goes. And now I'm gonna do a turn. Put my hands up. Yield those forequarters. Look over her withers, and walk on. Up. Look over her withers. Put my hands up. As soon as she starts to turn, put my hands back down and walk forward. I always look in the direction I want to go. Ooh. And when I want to stop, I raise my right hand and I say, whoa. So let me describe what's going on. I ask her to walk on. I want her to start walking first. I'll cluck or I'll say walk on. Once she starts walking, I walk with her. When I make that right turn, I'm going to put my hands up and have her yield those forequarters. And I'm looking over her withers. I'm telling her the direction I want to go. I'm not looking at her. I'm looking over her withers. Now, if she tries to walk forward, which that's very common, I'm going to tell her no, and I'm going to block her and continue to ask her to yield those forequarters. Slow down. And then I continue walking forward. Slow down. Look over her withers. And walk forward. Then I put my hands back down. So once she starts, put my hand up for whoa. So once she starts to turn, if she's turning, I drop my hands. But if she stops, I'm gonna put my hands back up and tell her to continue yielding her forequarters. So once you do the left side, you obviously want to do that right side. So the right side, since you're on the right side, it's gonna be all about left turns. And the reason those turns are so important and it establishes leadership is because the horse is having to yield away from you. That's why those turns are so important. And I look over her withers, okay? And I give her a loose line. She has to take responsibility for her own feet. Do not hold them up here. Do not choke it up like this and try to get them to move over like that. That's not going to gain you any respect, okay? That actually can make some horses claustrophobic and feel a little bit anxious. So I give her a loose line, okay? So I look over her withers, put my hands up, put my hands down. When she starts to turn, continue to look over. If she starts to go forward, I wiggle that rope, say no, and I continue asking her to yield those 4/4 away from me, and then I start walking on. So it's mostly about those turns. The turns are is what is gaining you respect, okay? So I'm gonna do her right side real quick. I'm gonna put her back position. You got a lot of snow this last couple days. Okay. So now I'm gonna do the right side. I give her a loose line. I do not hold up underneath here. Give her a loose line. Shoulder to shoulder. Walk on. Walk on. Kind of locker. I'm gonna turn. 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 Walk on. I'll still look over those withers. Catch up. Go down. Turn. 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 Walk on. Catch up. Good. So I want her to try to maintain that position. And woo. So she knows this exercise. But it's all about those turns. Having the horse yield their front end away from you. That establishes leadership. That's going to gain you respect. So if you have a pushy, dominant horse, this is one of my favorite exercises, especially for winter time when you can't do too much with them. This helps me to maintain respect. So